Hey, my name is Vincent and I am 35 years old. I am currently the Director of Security Operations in a company that provides cybersecurity services all around the world. We deal mainly with businesses, offering them various cybersecurity services like network security, endpoint security, data encryption, and more. The internet started to boom more than a decade ago, and so did the cybersecurity market. I joined the company 9 years ago and worked my way up. After high school, I went to college to study cybersecurity and computer science. The internet was blowing up and every internet user was worried about data protection and privacy. With the rise of the internet, cybersecurity became necessary. So in 2015, I decided to pursue a master's degree in cybersecurity. I learned everything I could about the vast world of cybersecurity in college. After my master's degree, I kicked off my career by joining a cybersecurity company as a network administrator and its support specialist. It wasn't a very high-paying job back then, but I got to learn a lot of things. It has been 9 years since I've been working for the company, and currently, I am the Director of Security Operations. Unlike 9 years ago, the job pays very well now and has its own perks. I get to meet and strike deals with some of the biggest businessmen in the world. 3 years ago, I met my ex-fiancée, Kayla. Kayla used to work in a bookstore near our office. I was instantly drawn to her the moment I saw her. She was putting books on the window display, and I was standing right outside the bookstore. I watched her through the window as she placed books, one by one, on the display. She was wearing an oversized t-shirt and shorts and had a bandana on her head. The moment I saw her, I felt this strange and unexplainable desire to go up to her and talk to her. So I entered the bookstore and went up to her. "Hey, do you work here?" "Yes, I do." "I am Vincent. It's good to meet you." "I am Kayla. Good to meet you too. Can I help you with something?" "Yeah, so I've never read a book in my life and my therapist tells me that I should start reading books. It'll help me improve my focus, but I have no idea where to start from. Do you have any suggestions?" "Well, what do you want to read? Fiction? Romance?" "Romance sounds good." "All right, let me think. Please be mindful of the fact that whatever you suggest would be the first book one ever read in my life. My entire experience of reading a book depends on your suggestion." "Oh, wow. No pressure. All right, I'd suggest Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. It's about a love story. It is a contemporary romance novel. It's not just about a love story. It also addresses other themes such as personal growth and the transformative power of love. I am sure you'll like it." "Sounds amazing. Do you have a copy in your store?" "Yes, we do. Should I get you one?" "Yes, please." "Wait, I'll get you one." Kayla went to the storeroom, and after a few minutes she came back and handed me the book. I paid for the book, thanked her, and left the store. I had no interest in reading the book, but I knew if I wanted to talk to Kayla again, I would have to read the book she gave me. I went home that day and I started reading the book. To my surprise, the book turned out to be quite interesting and engaging. It was a good book. Kayla definitely had great taste in books. It took me 17 days or so to read the entire book. And when I reached the last page, I saw a note written on it. It said, "Hey new reader, I see you finished the book and I hope you liked it. Come to the store and let me know all about it. Love, Kayla." I still remember I blushed a little after reading the note. Now that I think about it, it makes me laugh. It was just a note, but at that moment, it felt like it was the beginning of a new love story. Maybe reading Me Before You was starting to have its effect. The next day, I went to the bookstore and I saw an old man standing on the counter. I asked him about Kayla and he told me that she was on leave for 3 days. He also asked me if he could help me with something and I said no. I wanted to meet Kayla, but she wasn't going to be there for 3 days. Now I had to wait 3 more days to meet her. After 3 days, I went to the bookstore again. This time, instead of entering the bookstore, I decided to peek through the display window to check if Kayla was there. As soon as I leaned on the glass to peek through the window, I felt someone tapping my shoulder. I was scared. I thought, maybe it was the old man from the other day, and he would yell at me for peeking in his store like a thief planning to rob it. I turned around hesitantly and I saw Kayla. She was standing right in front of me and she had a smile on her face. "What are you doing, mister? I've never read a book ever?" I was just looking at the books kept on the display. "Seems to me like you were looking for something else." "All right, you got me. I was looking for you." "Oh, interesting. I like where this is going." I just wanted to meet you and tell you that the book was amazing. I loved it. And I guess I also wanted to thank you for your great recommendation. All right then. Thank you. You're welcome. Anything else? No. All right, I'll get back to work then. Wait. I just wanted to ask you if you would like to go out with me sometime? I'd love to, Vincent. Do you like Mexican food? I know this place that serves delicious Mexican food. I love Mexican food. I'd die for it. Haha. Well then, Friday at 8. Pick me up from here. All right, sounds good. It's a date. Looking forward to it. I can't tell you how I felt when Kayla agreed to go out on a date with me. I felt ecstatic. I felt like it was the happiest day of my life. I still remember when I was going back home in my car that day, I had played loud music and I was just singing my heart out. Life felt amazing. The world felt beautiful. I couldn't wait till Friday to meet Kayla again. After a few long days went by, Friday finally came. I went to work in the morning and all I could think about was our date. I was planning all day in my head about what I was going to wear and the things I would say to Kayla. At one point, I even went to the washroom to practice how I was going to act in front of Kayla during the date. I was very excited about it. I kept on looking at my wristwatch. It felt like the longest office day ever. The clock struck 6, and I packed up everything and I left the office. I reached home, took a shower, got dressed, and I was ready for the date. I got into my car and drove off to the bookstore to pick up Kayla. I reached the bookstore, and there she was, standing right outside it. She was wearing a black dress, and she was looking gorgeous. I had bought a bouquet of flowers for her on my way to the bookstore. I gave it to her, and she blushed a little. We got in the car, and she gave me directions to reach the Mexican restaurant. We reached the restaurant in about 10 minutes. We sat at one of the tables and we ordered food. This place looks beautiful. Wait till you have their food. It's amazing. I trust your suggestions. I am pretty sure it's going to be good. Oh, it will. So tell me, what do you do? I work in a cybersecurity firm. I am the head of the network administrator and its support team. Went right above my head. So you're the geeky kind. You could say that. I like it. The guy I used to date during my college days in England was also into tech and stuff. It got ugly when we broke up, but it's all right. I guess I have a thing for tech guys. I am glad that you do. What about you? I don't really know anything about you except that you work in a bookstore and you went to England for your college, and that you have a thing for tech guys. All right, so I grew up in the countryside and my parents moved to the city when I was 16. After high school, I went to England to study literature. I had a great time there. After I finished my studies, I came back home. I am writing a book, but there are bills to pay, so I work in the bookstore. I like working there. I can read as many books as I want, and I get to meet people like you. I guess we're in a state of juxtaposition. How so? I work in a cybersecurity company, and I love tech. On the contrary, you love literature. It's like putting a scientist and a philosopher together. I guess you're right. Never thought about it this way. Yeah, we come from different worlds. Yet we get along so well. I guess both of us being so different makes us enjoy each other's company. We have our separate individual identities that go very well together. Spoken like a true writer. After a while, our food came in and it was the best Mexican food I had ever had. It seemed like everything Kayla loved, I loved it too. We were like the perfect match for each other. We talked about a lot of things that night. We talked about literature, science, love, life, and everything. It was a great date. After the date, I dropped Kayla at her place and she gave me a kiss on my cheek, telling me she had a great time with me and that we should do it again. I felt like my heart would burst out in happiness. We exchanged phone numbers before she went inside her apartment. And then I went back home. I came back home and we texted each other the whole night. She loved talking to me and so did I. We went on more dates and we grew closer. We dated for a year and then I proposed to her in a restaurant that had an amazing city view. It was a magical night. There were fireworks and her eyes lit up when she saw them. I knew it was the perfect time to propose to her. I pulled out a ring from my pocket and sat on my knee. The moment she turned around and saw me with the ring, she broke down. I asked her if she would marry me and she said yes. The entire restaurant cheered for us. We ordered some more wine to celebrate. We decided to have an engagement party. We invited everyone dear to us. Kayla invited her friends, her parents and I invited mine, Everyone was so happy for us. They brought gifts and congratulated us. After a while, Kayla went to the dressing room with her friends and I was chilling with my friends. A few minutes later, I got a text message from Kayla telling me that she wanted to talk to me. She called me into her dressing room and I went there. I knocked on the door and she opened it. There was nobody else in the room but us. She told me to sit down on the couch, and she sat right beside me. She said that she wanted to tell me something. And the thing she said to me next shattered my heart. "Vincent, I want to talk to you about something." "Yes, sweetheart." "Go ahead." "Do you remember the guy I told you about that I used to date?" "What guy?" "Oscar." "The guy I used to date when I was in England." "Yeah, what about him?" "So he texted me." "He texted you?" "Yes." "What did he say?" "He told me that he was in the city and he wanted to get back with me." "What did you tell him?" "I told him that I would talk to him later." "What? It's our engagement party and you still want to talk to your ex-boyfriend about getting back together?" "That's what I wanted to talk to you about. I don't know if I have completely moved on after breaking up with him. I still think about him sometimes. I think I want to be with him." "You're joking, right? Is this some kind of a prank?" "I am not joking, Vincent. It's the truth." "You're telling me this today? At our engagement party?" "I know you're upset, but I can't help it. When I broke up with him, things got ugly and we stopped talking to each other. But I couldn't move on. And now that he's back, I feel like I still have a thing for him." "What about me?" "You're a good guy, Vincent, but I don't love you. How can I love you when I am still in love with him?" "Why did you say yes when I proposed to you? Why did you go out with me on all those dates when you still had feelings for Oscar? How could you do this?" "When I first met you, I didn't feel anything for you. I was still trying to move on and forget about Oscar. But when I started dating you, I forgot about him for a while. I loved spending time with you. It was the only time when I wasn't thinking about him. I guess my heart was using you as a distraction. But lately I've not been feeling like how I used to feel for you. How can you do this to me? I love you." "Vincent, I don't know what got into me. I am sorry. You were just a pastime for me. But now that Oscar is back, I want to be with him." "Kayla, don't do this, please. I love you." "I can't help it. You'll have to forget me. I don't want to be with you. I want him. I love him, not you." "What about all the people outside celebrating our engagement?" "Well, the best thing we could do is to tell them that the engagement is off and we've decided to go our separate ways." "What? We can't just tell them that the engagement is off." "We'll have to." "I can't. My parents, my friends, my relatives, everyone is here. I can't just tell them that we've broken up." "All right then. We'll not tell them today. Let's go ahead with everything. You can tell them later." "How can you be so cool about it?" "It's our engagement. I love you and you said you love me too." "I know, Vincent, but I can't be with you. You're on your own. It's going to be all right, trust me. You'll find someone new and you'll forget about me." "How can you say these things to me? Don't you have a heart? Don't you feel anything about me?" "It is what it is, Vincent. Now please leave the dressing room. I need to put on some makeup. I'll come out in a few minutes and we'll just act like everything's fine. Let's get done with this engagement party and you can tell everyone that we've broken up later." How can you're... "Please leave, Vincent." Kayla pushed me out of the room and I was stunned. I couldn't believe what had just happened. How could Kayla be so insensitive and heartless? How could she do such a cruel thing to me? I loved her with all my heart, and that's how she responds to my love. I was heartbroken. I felt like my whole life was falling apart. Hearing the woman you love say that she is in love with someone else can break any man's heart. My heart felt heavy. I felt sad, angry, and anxious at the same time. I felt like I was going to throw up, so I ran off to the washroom. I threw up and then I cried hard. I was praying that all of this was a nightmare, but it was the reality. My fiance wanted to go back to her ex-boyfriend, and she chose to tell me this at our engagement party. How could she do this? She didn't look sorry, and she didn't look like she was feeling guilty about anything. It felt like all the time we spent together meant nothing to her. I cried for a few minutes and then I came out of the washroom. As soon as I stepped out of the washroom, I saw my brother, Mason, standing right in front of me. He seemed a little tipsy from all the champagne he had chugged, but he could still tell by my face that I was crying. He put a hand on my shoulder and asked me what was wrong. "What's wrong, Vin?" "I can tell you've been crying." "It's Kayla." She told me that she wanted to call off the engagement and get back to her ex-boyfriend. What? She told me that she doesn't love me, and she has always loved her ex-boyfriend. How could she do that? This is evil. She told me that we should let the engagement party take place and I can tell everyone about our breakup later. I don't know what I am going to do now. Listen, Vin. I know you're heartbroken, but I need you to be strong right now. I need you to stay calm and think about it. Everyone's out there. Our parents, your friends, the neighbors, and everyone. Let's get done with the engagement party. If you tell everyone right now, it's going to be catastrophic. And Mom's been sick lately. I don't know how she would take it. I don't know if I can do it. You can, Vincent. I know you can. Do it for our parents. For Mom. We'll tell them about everything slowly. We'll give them time to process everything. I'll help you with it. But for now, act like everything's fine. Please. All right. I'll do it. For Mom. Yes, Vin. Mason helped me wash my face, and we went out to the party. I had to put on a fake smile even though my heart was being crushed every time I looked at Kayla. It was the hardest thing I had ever done. After a while, Kayla and I cut the cake together and everybody raised a toast for us. It felt wrong, but I had no other option. I looked at my mom and she was happy. I couldn't tell her anything about me and Kayla breaking up right away. After the party was over, everyone went home and Kayla went home with her parents. Mason decided to stay the night with me to look after me. He knew I was in a bad place. I stayed up all night drinking the leftover champagne from the party, and so did Mason. Mason told me that we were going to tell everybody about the breakup slowly. We'll first tell them that me and Kayla were having fights, and eventually we'll tell everyone that things were not working out between us, so we decided to go our separate ways. I agreed to it. A couple of months went by and I started to heal. I cut off all the ties with Kayla, and she never tried to reach out to me either. I got back to my old life. I started going out with my friends more. Mason, his wife, and his son used to visit me more often to be with me, so I didn't feel alone. As Mason and I had planned, we had already told Mom and Dad that Kayla and I were having fights and soon we would tell them that we had broken up. Everything was going as we had planned. One Friday evening, Mason and I decided to go out together to a pub to get some drinks and have a good time. Mason came to my office to pick me up. I got in his car and we went to a pub. We sat on the counter and I looked around the bar. As I looked around, I saw Kayla on one of the tables with a man. As soon as I saw them, the man sitting with Kayla saw me and Mason. He pointed his finger at us and said something to Kayla. The moment Kayla saw us, her face went pale. She was shocked to see me, and so was I. After a few seconds, the man grabbed Kayla's hand and they both approached us. I thought he was coming here to find trouble, and I was ready to go all out if a brawl broke out. But to my surprise, it was quite the opposite. As they were walking towards us, I called out Mason and told him about them. Mason chuckled and told me that the man Kayla is with works under him. Mason is the vice president of a tech company, and apparently Oscar had joined Mason's company a few months ago. He and Kayla came up to us. Oscar greeted Mason with a smiling face. I was looking at Kayla and she had her head down. Mason introduced me to Oscar and Oscar introduced us to Kayla, saying that she was a friend from his college. Just a friend from college. He didn't even address her as his girlfriend. Just a friend from college. As soon as I heard this, I burst into laughter and said, "No need for introductions." Oscar was confused. "Wait, do you guys know each other?" "Yeah, we met at a bookstore." "Oh, she does work in a bookstore." "Anyway, Kayla, I was telling you about my boss. The man who gave me the job. This is him, Mason." "Hello, Kayla. It's nice to meet you. You do look familiar. It's strange. She does have a very common face." "Haha, she does. So Mason here is the man who saved me. Kayla, you know how I am. I was never good at studies and almost flunked my college. I managed to graduate somehow, but I had no idea how I would get a job. I've already told you I didn't get a job in England, and my uncle who lives here told me that there were a lot of job opportunities here, so I moved here." "Oh, you moved here to find a job?" "Yes, I did." "That's quite wise of you. Most people move out to other places for stupid things like love. That's not me. I am not that stupid, and I am definitely not in love with anyone." "Good to hear that, buddy." So I was saying, I moved here and I sat for several job interviews, but I couldn't make it. Then I went to Mason's company. I sat for the interview and I flunked it big time. But Mason right here saved me. He told the management to give me a chance and they hired me. I am here only because of this man, and I respect him a lot. "Oh, Oscar, Now you're just overdoing it. You deserve the job, so I hired you. You don't need to be so grateful to me. I do. I most definitely do. I wouldn't hire myself if I were in your place, but you did. You're the only reason I can take care of myself and my family. It's all right, Oscar. Anyway, I thought this beautiful lady right here was your girlfriend or something. Oh no, she's just a friend. We did date each other when we were together in college, but turns out she is not my type. Oh, what a shame. It's all right, we're good friends, that's it. Right, Kayla? Right. All right, we'll go back to our table. It was nice meeting you, Vincent. Oh, it was great meeting you, Oscar. As soon as they turned around and started walking to their table, Mason and I burst out in laughter. Everything that had just happened was hilarious. Everything Oscar told us about Kayla and him tickled our funny bones. To see Kayla's ex-boyfriend say all of these things was no less than a comedy show for us. I guess Kayla got played like I did. That night, when Mason dropped me home from the pub, I got a call from Kayla. I picked it up. Hey Vincent, Kayla. Listen, I am sorry about everything I did to you. No, it's all right. Trust me. Oscar seems like a great guy. You deserve someone like him, not me. It's good that you left me for him. I know you're upset, and I am really sorry. I made a mistake. I was just overwhelmed by the feelings I had for Oscar. That's all it was. Now I realize that I've always loved you. Oh, now you feel that you love me? Yes, you're the one. You're the one I love. I am sorry. Please, can we meet? Oh, you're in love with me now. What a shame. How can you not be in love with your handsome ex-boyfriend? How can you be in love with a loser like me? No, please, don't say that. I've always loved you. I was just confused. It's good that you didn't tell anyone about calling off our engagement that day. We can still be together. I still have the ring you gave me. Don't be hasty, Kayla. I am sure Oscar will get you another ring with a bigger diamond on it. Be patient. He would bend the knee someday. After all, you love him so much, don't you? I don't love him, Vincent. I've never loved him. I've only loved you ever since I've met you. Remember how we went on our first date to that Mexican restaurant? We had such a great time. Yes, I remember. I did have a great time. The food was delicious. Please take me back, Vincent. I beg you. I made a mistake. I should have never chosen Oscar over you. You're perfect for me, and I love you. Fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I will never get back with someone so cunning and deceitful like you. Vincent, please listen. I am so glad that you chose Oscar over me. Thank goodness. I dodged a bullet right there. Vincent, I love you. All right, bye. Say hi to Oscar from me. And I cut the call on her face. Hearing her begging to take her back was such a relief to my ears. A couple of months ago, she acted like it was nothing when she broke my heart, and now she was regretting it. She had told me before that Oscar was a mean guy, and thank God he is. Serves her right. The guy she left me for treats her like she is nobody. I loved her and gave her everything I could, and she broke my heart in the most brutal way possible. Now she was begging for my forgiveness. I guess the game she played with me turned out to be detrimental for her. I could have told Mason to tell Oscar about everything that happened between me and Kayla, and the kind of guy Oscar is, he would definitely choose his job over Kayla, but I didn't. I could never be as ruthless as Kayla. I left it up to fate. It has been more than a year now since I last saw Kayla in that pub with Oscar. She still calls me sometimes and begs me to take her back, but I won't. Never in a million years I would forgive Kayla for what she did to me. Mason also told me that Oscar is dating someone else now. What a tight slap to Kayla's face. That's exactly what that deceitful and heartless woman deserves. And about me, I've already told everyone about calling off the engagement, including Mom. I didn't think Mom would take it so well. Even Mason was shocked to see that Mom was so chill about it. I still think about all of the things that happened. I still wonder about the first time I met Kayla, and she gave me the book Me Before You. Well, I guess in her case the phrase turned out to be quite true. She did put herself and her interests before me. But things don't always turn out the way you want them to, and I am glad it didn't. I did dodge a bullet, right there, didn't I?